Welcome to Cumberland Country. I'm CJ Cumberland. For the next hour, I'll be your guide to the best local and regional country and bluegrass music around. So ease back, relax, and leave the rest to Crescent Hill Radio. All right, everybody. Welcome once again to Cumberland Country. It is Thursday night at 5 p.m., and get ready for the best local and regional country, bluegrass, and Americana music, along with lots more fun. Got a very special guest on tonight's show. On the first hour, Mr. John Timmons. I like to call him a local music legend.
Whatever.
We'll be talking to John about all things local and regional music, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Before that, let's take care of some business. Cumberland Country, I'm proud to announce, is sponsored in part by American Recording Company and the Downriver Bar and Grill in Sellersburg, Indiana. Take a listen to this.
American Recording Company, dedicated to providing. Our creative and knowledgeable engineers can help tailor projects to meet your budget. For more information, call 502-457-9057 or on the web at AmericanRecordingCO.com. That's 502-457-9057, AmericanRecordingCO.com. ARC Studios, Creative Soundscaping.
All right, if you're a band or a singer-songwriter or just want to put something down on CD, give John Manley a call at American Recording Company, and they'll fix you up. Also, as I mentioned, Cumberland Country is sponsored in part by Downriver Bar and Grill in Sellersburg, Indiana. That's 7815 Highway 311. Check out the Downriver Bar and Grill. They have dinner. They serve coffee, cocktails, of course. They take reservations. Walk-ins are welcome. Good place for groups, takeout, catering. They have waiter service, outdoor seating when the weather's good enough. See Mo and the rest of the staff there. I believe this Saturday night they have the band Self-Inflicted is going to be live on stage. So check them out. A couple more things before we get to our guest. This Friday is the Fat Friday Trolley Hop. That's from 6 to 10 p.m. So check that out. Also Saturday, not also Saturday, is the Easter Parade here in the Crescent Hill neighborhood. That starts at noon. Crescent Hill Radio is going to be broadcasting and streaming from right out in front of the studio right here on Frankfort Avenue. It's 2520 Frankfort Avenue. Tara Bassett and I believe our station manager, Kathy Weisbach, is going to be the host, so check that out. Also, one more thing. April 28th is the Crescent Hill Radio Derby kickoff. It's our annual Raise a Note benefit concert. There's going to be 2 stages out at Expo 5. Some of the bands performing are going to be Appalachian, Korean Hetty, Discount Guns, Robbie Bartlett, Trapper Keepers, Memphis Beck and Friends, Bridge 19, Anton Mink, and Alana Fugate. So check that out. Again, it's April 28th from 4 to 10 p.m. at Expo 5. That's 2900 South 7th Street. There's a $10 minimum donation at the door, but if you go to CrescentHillRadio.com, click on the heart in the top left-hand of the screen, and you become a member, for only $25, you get a free ticket to the fundraiser. So we'd love to see you out there. I'm going to be out there along with lots of other of our on-air personalities here at Crescent Hill Radio. So check it out. All right. You know, I'm real excited about my my special guest host. I've been trying to get him on the show for
calm down
for quite a while. Mr. John Timmons. John moved to Louisville in 1976. He began working for Karma Records on Bardstown Road. He had stints at other local music stores, including Vine and Phoenix Records.
That's before your time. You don't remember those,
well,
do you?
You know what?
You have no idea.
I'm taking this right off your bio, man.
It's okay. It was a long time ago, CJ. It's before you were born.
He's probably best known as the owner-operator of Ear Ecstasy for 26 years. Just I want to call it a legendary local music store. And, you know, I'm old enough to remember record stores, too. Did it start out as a record store?
Absolutely. It started with my record collection, and that's, you know, where the industry's gone back to now. It's all vinyl.
Right, it is.
Well, mostly vinyl.
Active in the Louisville music community also. He's founder of the Keep Louisville Weird campaign and co-founder of the Louisville Independent Business Alliance. John's also been on the board of directors for the Coalition of Independent Music, the Americana Music Association, and the Association for Independent Music. I want to give a warm Cumberland country welcome to John Timmons.
CJ, thanks. Yeah, it has been a long time getting here. You've been trying for a long time.
Right.
And sometimes schedules just don't work.
Right.
And,
well, you're a busy man.
Well, yeah. Well, not really. But I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And let's mention real quick, right off the top, we had to get some permission from various higher ups in both of our organizations to get you on here.
The powers that be.
Because you actually you have a radio show on 91.9 WFPK.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Saturdays from 12 to 4.
Yep. Just started that the first of the year.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm very, very new to the radio game business.
And I actually have listened to your show on more than one occasion, and when I'm not listening to Crescent Hill Radio.
That's fair. That's
put
fair.
it that way.
That's fair. And you still invited me as a guest. That's amazing. Yeah,
I did. And we're Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm,
so
absolutely.
You know, whatever that means. I'm kind of But again, welcome.
Thank you.
You know, Crescent Hill Radio is all about local and regional original music. That's all we play.
And that's awesome.
I wanted to have you on because you're I would say you're kind of an expert on that subject, music in general. I mean, you know, owning a record store for that long, you know, you picked up a few things along the way, I'm sure.
I'm just a music fan. You know, I've been a music fan since I was a little kid. And when I moved to Louisville in 1976, I came from Evansville, Indiana. And when I moved here, one of the first things that I noticed, other than the coolness of Bardstown Road and how that felt like another world to me, was there was a great music scene here. And we talked about this before the show, and I know you're a fan of this guy, but the first artist that I saw perform live when I moved here was Mickey Clark with his brother Bill. And they were playing at the Phoenix Hill Tavern. And at that time, you know, the Cumberlands were playing all the time. Newgrass Revival was playing, you know. Sam Bush, you'd see all these folks up and down Bardstown Road playing clubs and stuff. And I'd never experienced a music scene like that before. So I've always been really enthused about, you know, the Louisville music scene, the local and regional scene. It's always been really, really exciting to me. No matter what the genre is, it's just there's so much great stuff going on. Right,
there is. I'm constantly amazed at the depth of the talent here in the Louisville area and the region.
Yeah.
You know, I have a great opportunity to hear a lot of that music firsthand, and I can tell you I can listen to Crescent Hill Radio and not hear a bad song.
Yeah, no. And, I was listening the other day, and it was just like, you know, one artist after another. It's like, yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that.
Right.
It's all good.
Right. Well, speaking of Mickey Clark, let's play a tune from Mickey. This is Red Velvet Cake. I believe this song was actually written for a movie that actually never made it to
his son.
The screen.
Yeah, his son did the movie.
Right.
But it has yet to see the light of day. But
yeah, well, hopefully one of these days.
I hope so.
And Mickey actually, he played out at the Cumberland Country Crescent Hill Radio Singer-Songwriter Night out at the Rudyard Kipling about a month or so ago. So love Mickey and love his stuff. Let's give it a listen. This is a Red Velvet Cake on Crescent Hill Radio.
Racing through the rolling hills of bluegrass, of honeysuckle on my tongue. I heard the sound of thunder in the distance and the hoofbeats of the horses on the run. My childhood days, they were quickly over. A child with a child out on my own, running from the memories weighing heavy. The preacher's words that cut me to the bone. I see that red velvet cake on the table. I hear the fiddles and the mandolins play. Wish I was sitting with my mama in the kitchen, in that long ago world of yesterday. I don't know if I'll ever get to see her, sitting by the fire once again. I'd take her in my arms and I'd hold her, but that's a fence that only God can mend. I see that red velvet cake on the table. I hear the fiddles and the mandolins play. Wish I was sitting with my mama in the kitchen, in that long ago world of yesterday. I see that red velvet cake on the table. I hear the fiddles and the mandolins play. Wish I was sitting with my mama in the kitchen, in that long ago world of yesterday. The years have flown like oak leaves in October. Wish that I was just a kid of 10, playing baseball by the barn and laughing, but I don't know if I'll ever see again that red velvet cake on the table, and hear the fiddles and the mandolins play. Wish I was sitting with my mama in the kitchen, in that long ago world of yesterday. I see that red velvet cake on the table. I hear the fiddles and the mandolins play. Wish I was sitting with my mama in the kitchen, in that long ago world of yesterday. I can still taste mama's red velvet cake, in that long ago world of yesterday.
All right, that was Red Velvet Cake from Mickey Clark. We're back on Cumberland Country. My special guest, if you're just tuning in, is Mr. John Timmons, owner of the unfortunately now closed Ear Ecstasy.
It was a good 26-year run.
Yeah, yeah.
It was good.
I mean, you know.
Very happy about that. Not happy that it's
sure.
no longer with us, but hopefully we left a good memory with a lot of folks.
Well, I think you did. I know I was watching, I guess it was the week prior to closing or whatever, you know, you were having, I mean, you had lines all the way down the
I was looking at some photos the other day, going through some archive stuff, and there was a line wrapped around the building, which it was actually wrapped around the block, and I was not aware of it until after it was all over. But it was a 2.5 hour wait in line to get in the store. Wow, which
you know, one of the memories I have of Ear Ecstasy is the bumper sticker thing. Do you know how that got started?
I absolutely do. It was not my idea.
Right.
There was a,
and let's just tell our listeners, you know, Ear Ecstasy bumper stickers were the white Ear Ecstasy logo on a black
bumper sticker. The original ones were red on yellow.
Okay.
I was following for no apparent reason other than McDonald's was yellow and red, Wendy's was yellow and red, Tower Records was yellow and red, and I had no idea. I'm more of a black and white guy anyway, but so I changed it. But there was a salesman that would come in right after I opened the store. He was trying to sell me something. He was trying to sell me pins with, Ear Ecstasy and the address on the pin, or a calendar to give away to customers, or a magnet or something like that. And this guy would not take no for an answer. So after 2 or 3 visits, I said, okay, what's the cheapest thing you got? And it was a bumper sticker. I said, okay, we'll do a bumper sticker. And I hated bumper stickers. I never would put one on my car. I could not understand why people would advertise or put a sticker on their car anyway.
Right.
Now I'm a firm believer.
Well, my wife actually doesn't allow me to put it on the car.
Put them on the window. Put them on the glass.
Right.
I do that with political stickers. Right. So in case my candidate doesn't win, I can take that off right away.
Sure.
Fair weather fan. But no, that's how the bumper sticker came about, and that's the best marketing tool.
Right.
That just kind of fell into my lap because I would never have done that on my own.
Right. Well, and more specifically, what I was talking about, people would cut the words out and spell other words.
I can't tell you because we're on the radio and I don't want to offend anybody, but when that first started happening, I was not happy.
Right.
Let me put it that way. And then I realized that even though it didn't, what they were, they were cutting them up. And the first one I saw was "Axe Your Cat." So it's like, okay, great. And then there was one, "Create Art," and then there was, all sorts of things. And I realized after a while, it took me a while. I'm kind of slow at this.
Sure.
But I realized that the folks that were coming in and grabbing these stickers and creating something else were actually extending the life and the legend of a bumper sticker, which is pretty stupid to begin with. But even though it didn't say Ear Ecstasy, people recognized the font, which I did invent the typewriter.
Right.
So that's my font, and so it just kind of perpetuated the whole myth. So I was happy that our clientele was very creative, and I was a little slow on the uptake.
Well, I have to say, I mean, even before I got a car, I mean, I've been a musician since I was 13, and I had several of the bumper stickers on my guitar case.
Yeah,
of course, spelling out different things.
Sure, well, that's fine. Whatever you want to do with them. But I mean, they've been spotted all over the world, which is just it blows my mind. And people would always say, "Well, how many stores do you have? Where else do you have stores?" It's like, well, we had one in Middletown, but does that count?
Right.
So it's amazing, the mileage that a bumper sticker got.
Right. Well, let's play some more music now.
Absolutely. What you got lined up?
I'm thinking we're going to play some Blunt Honey.
I love that band.
I do too.
I've not seen them live, but I love the record.
You're in for a treat. They are playing. They're actually going to be on Live Lunch tomorrow.
I knew that. I knew that.
So
come on down
to
Live Lunch. Actually, I'm going to be there. I've got to record tomorrow.
And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give them a plug because on 91.9 FPK tomorrow at noon, Blunt Honey's going to be on Live Lunch. It's at the University of Louisville's Red Barn is where that takes place.
And it's free. And you can listen if you can't make it, but I appreciate you plugging.
Right.
That's very nice of you. It's a great band. So
it is. And they are also playing.
All about the music.
They are also playing tomorrow at Headliners Music Hall, I believe.
Okay. Is that a CD release party?
That is the CD release party.
That's what I thought.
With the Rumpke Mountain Boys and Strung Like a Horse is also going to be there. So, you know, check that out. Get out and see those guys. I had Jonathan Mitchell on the show just about a month ago. So after his trip to Mexico, he did the trek down south of the border.
And made it back alive. That's great.
He did.
That's
he
great.
did. He
Did he bring any gifts? Did he bring any gifts?
Not to me.
Okay.
But
well, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
But let's give this. This is off the new album, Green. This is Blunt Honey. This is Love Ton on Cumberland Country.
It had only just begun. Back when I was 22, packed my gear and up and moved, and didn't know what else to do. Found a place in Oregon, settled down and had some fun. I still have the urge to run. It had only just begun. Wait a ton, and it rolled right over me. Then you moved your things up north where we'd never been before, and it rocked me to the core. And your love, it weighed a ton, and it sent me on the run. It had only just begun. It had only just begun. Your love, it weighed a ton, and it rolled right over me. You're roaring down the tracks, and my heart starts beating fast. But I know I can't go back, 'cause you roll right over me. It had only just begun. Your love, it weighed a ton. It had only just begun. Your love, it weighed a ton, and it rolled right over me.
All right, it's Blunt Honey, Love Ton off the new album Green. That kind of makes you want to get up and do a hootenanny or something.
Yeah.
That's a good tune. But
What I've heard off the record, I really like. So.
I do too. Check them out. Headliners tomorrow evening, and again on Live Lunch tomorrow at noon. We're back with John Timmons. Again, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I know I aggravated you unmercifully trying to get you on the show, but
No, not at all. I'm not playing hard to get. Sometimes it's just difficult to work out schedules.
I got you. Let's talk a little more about some of the things you're doing, getting into, other than the radio gig since the Ear Ecstasy closed.
Yeah, the full-time job went away, so
right.
It was nice of Stacey Owen and Duke Meyer at WFPK to ask me if I was interested in doing something in radio. I really hadn't done anything on air before.
Right.
I told you before the show, in the early days of Ear Ecstasy, probably in 85, early 86, there was nobody playing new music on the radio.
Right.
And I bought an hour's worth of time on a fairly popular station on Sunday nights, and would do an hour's worth of new music. It was the Ear Ecstasy New Music Hour, and I just played basically whatever I wanted, whatever I liked.
Sure.
You'd hear Roseanne Cash go into Echo and the Bunnymen or something like that. So it was very, very eclectic, and a lot of local music was played when you know, I was able to get a copy of a cassette or a CD back then. Yeah. But I wasn't actually on air doing it. I would just take CDs in and record an intro and an outro to the song. It was actually Duke Meyer at the radio station who put the show together, and is who, you know, is basically my mentor now. And I'd met him. He was one of the first radio people I met when I moved here in '76. He was working at WLRS at the time, and so, you know, it's that circle of life thing. We're back to kind of working together again, sort of. But he's shown me the way. It's been really good. So I'm having a lot of fun. Having a lot of fun doing it.
That's important.
But I'm learning stuff every day. Like, you know, when you're going back into coming out of a song and going back on mic, you don't want to be eating a peanut butter cracker, or take a swig out of a carbonated beverage, before you get
You learn the ropes there.
I've done that numerous times now. But anyway, just having fun.
Well, yeah, you got to have fun. I know I got to have fun here doing what I do because you know, I'm not getting rich.
No, and the important thing for me was just getting back into music, because the last few years of Your Ecstasy, I was so far removed from music. It was more about strictly business and trying, you know, survival mode. So to be able to get back into music and really spend more time with my collection at home and discover a lot of new stuff that's going on has been that's the value for me of it. I'm not going to get rich doing radio.
No. Speaking of music, this is a song that you guys actually play on your station. A young man named Tyler Warden.
Yeah.
What do you think of that guy?
For being 20 years, I think he just turned 20.
Just turned 20.
Just turned 20. Yeah. He's got a lot more experience under his belt than a lot of people at 40.
Right.
He needs. Joel Timothy produced the record.
Sure, yeah. Joel's been on the show.
Joel's a good friend, and he and I talked about it. And Joel really wants to get this guy in front of some folks in Nashville, because at 20 years old, and some of the stuff he's writing and his singing is pretty incredible. So,
and I believe they actually have and I'm not sure what the date on that is. They're going to be playing at the 5 spot. A guy named Derek Hoke does like a local singer songwriter type thing down there.
Yeah, Joel was telling me about that a couple of weeks ago. So I hope that works out for him and opens some more doors.
But let's give it a listen. This is I guess this is what we're calling the single right now. Tyler Warden. This is Mountain on Crescent Hill Radio.
Raise your hands in the air, watch them fly everywhere. I alone have the key to your heart to set you free. All the same, when we are here again in the dark, watch me fall to the dirt. I won't crawl and I won't hurt. Won't you dream a little bit louder for me? Won't you climb that mountain so we all can see? Once you came along, it's so hard to breathe. But it's the same old song and the same old scene. Mountain high, valley low, where am I? I don't know. Every rose has its thorn. I found yours in the form of an old you climb that mountain so we all can see? Once you came along, it's so hard to breathe. But it's the same old song and the same old scene. Alright. Close your eyes, feel the burn that I feel for your return. Mountain high, valley low, where are you? I don't know. Won't you dream a little bit louder for me? Won't you climb that mountain so we all can see? Once you came along, it's so hard to breathe. But it's the same old song and the same old scene.
All right, that was Mountain, Tyler Warden. We're back on Cumberland Country with John Timmons, our guest. John, we were talking off the air a little bit about some of the stuff you've been doing since, other than the radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this probably goes back, while you were doing the Ear Ecstasy thing. Tell me about the Keep Louisville Weird campaign.
It's probably been 7, maybe 8 years ago. I was really worried about a lot of my friends' businesses because I know the guys who at the time who owned Heine Brothers Coffee and Rainbow Blossom Natural Foods and Carmichael's Bookstore and Holly Cook Bookstore and Quest Outdoors and places like that. And Starbucks hadn't come to town yet.
Okay.
And Wild Oats and I forget the name of the other place. Anyway, competition was coming to town from outside the city, and all these independent businesses. I thought they're going to take a major hit, and I hate to see these small locally owned independent businesses go away at the mercy of the big box stores and the national chains. So I've got a good friend in Austin, Texas, who owns a record store, Waterloo Records, one of the best record stores in the country. And John Coons is the owner of that, and he co-founded Keep Austin Weird.
Right.
And John and I were part of a coalition of independent stores. And so I talked to John about the campaign because I'd been to Austin a couple of times and I'd seen what they had done with Keep Austin Weird. And so basically I got permission from them to steal it, to borrow it, so to speak. And I just, made up some bumper stickers and a billboard and put some signage on the back of like 10 TARC buses, made some T-shirts, and I didn't tell a soul as to what it was or that I was doing it.
Right.
There were only a few people that knew, the billboard folks and, the people that did the shirts. They really had no idea what the whole idea was, and I didn't either. I just put it out there. It's like Keep Louisville Weird.
Right.
And it just, it captured, people's attention, and they wanted to find out more what it was about. Kind of a little bit ahead of the curve of the whole national, buy local movement.
Right.
And so the interest was so great in Keep Louisville. Legitimate business organization, and we formed the Louisville Independent Business Alliance. A lot of independent stores in the Crescent Hill and and Bardstown Road areas were the ones that were original members, just because those are the folks that I knew. Those are the people that I did business with and I was friends with.
Right.
And since then, it's grown to over 500, and I think we're about 560 locally owned independent businesses that are members.
Wow.
And the whole idea behind this is to remind people that it's the independent businesses that give Louisville its unique flavor, its soul, its makes us different than, you know, any city USA.
Sure.
And on top of that, it's when you spend your dollars with a locally owned business, more of that dollar stays in the local economy than being shipped off to Arkansas or Minnesota, wherever, you know, the corporate offices are.
Right.
So, you know, it's good. It's good for the flavor of the city, and it's good for the economy of the city.
Right.
And I'm just amazed at how it's taken off. And that's not all I did was get the ball rolling. And there's so many people in the organization that have just taken it and have run with it, and it's become so much bigger than I ever thought it would be. And that's something I'm spending more time with now, because the last 3 years of Your Ecstasy, I basically had to step away from it because I didn't have time to spend with the organization. And now I'm back on the board of directors, and I'm working on. I'm actually working in Southwest Jefferson County right now, trying to get more and more independent businesses to belong and to kind of strengthen businesses in that area, and to encourage businesses that, you know, might be in Crescent Hill or the Bardstown Road area, the Highlands, to look at Southwest Jefferson County, because there's so much cool stuff out there.
Sure.
That just doesn't get noticed.
Well,
so.
you know, if there happens to be a business owner listening tonight, who would they contact if they're interested?
You know, you can contact me if you go to keeplouisvilleweird.com.
Okay.
There's contact information there, and there's plenty of information about what the organization is all about, and you can actually apply online there. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Thanks for bringing that up, because that's a really, to me, it's a really important thing.
It is.
So.
It is.
And I know we're here to talk about music, but
we are. But you know what? That you know, we're all about local and regional music here, so that kind of fits right in. You know, keeping it local.
And like I said earlier, it's, you know, when I moved here, the local music scene was unlike any place I had been.
Sure.
You know, and it's just. That gives the city a unique flavor.
Right.
So why not tout it and support it?
It does. Let's play some more of that local and regional music. This is more in the regional category. This is a band out of Lexington, actually, a band called Fifth on the Floor. I told you a little bit about.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with these folks.
They've got a new album out called Ashes and Angels, produced by Shooter Jennings, actually. Real good album. These guys are on the road all the time, and they've been here in Louisville to Zazoo's, actually, right down the road, and they played over in New Albany at Dillinger's, but not sure when they're going to be back in town, but if you get a chance to see them, a real good band. This one's called January in Louisiana on Cumberland Country.
It's a cold, cold